Your concerns are valid, and it is reasonable to insist on maintaining the 2-inch galvanized rigid conduit requirement for all services, including cable end masts. The National Electrical Code considerations are as follows. While the NEC does permit the use of PVC Schedule 80 for underground electrical services, it does not mandate its use. NEC Article 250.122. B allows the use of approved electrical metallic tubing or other approved raceways to enclose service conductors. There are numerous reasons to maintain galvanized rigid conduit. 1. Safety and fault current containment. Galvanized rigid conduit provides superior protection against arc flash and fault currents compared to PVC. In the event of a high fault current event, the rigid conduit can better contain the energy and prevent damage to surrounding structures. 2. Physical protection. Galvanized rigid conduit is more robust and damage-resistant than PVC, providing better protection for the service conductors from external impact. In case of accidental damage, the rigid conduit is less likely to break and expose the conductors, reducing the risk of electrocution or fire. 3. Fire resistance. PVC is a combustible material and can contribute to a house fire in the event of a power surge or electrical fault. Galvanized rigid conduit is non-combustible and provides a barrier against fire, preventing the spread of flames and reducing the risk of a catastrophic fire. Practices in other areas are as follows. In many areas, 2-inch galvanized rigid conduit is still the standard requirement for service entrances due to safety and reliability concerns. Some jurisdictions may allow PVC for underground services but still require rigid conduit for above-ground installations such as cable end masts. In conclusion, while PVC Schedule 80 may be a less expensive option, the safety and reliability benefits of galvanized rigid conduit outweigh the potential savings. It is recommended that you insist on maintaining the current requirement for 2-inch galvanized rigid conduit for all services, including cable end masts. Additional considerations include the potential impact on homeowners' insurance premiums if PVC is used instead of rigid conduit. Discuss your concerns with the utility company and obtain their input on the proposed change. Consult with other local electrical contractors or building inspectors to gather industry feedback. Think about the environmental considerations when making this decision. PVC production and disposal have environmental impacts that galvanized steel does not. Consider the life cycle cost analysis. While PVC may have lower upfront costs, galvanized rigid conduit may have a longer lifespan and require less maintenance, resulting in lower overall costs. Also think about the potential for theft and vandalism. Galvanized rigid conduit is more difficult to steal and vandalize than PVC, which can be a significant consideration in some areas. Furthermore, with proper grounding, galvanized rigid conduit provides an excellent equipment grounding conductor, which can improve safety and reduce the risk of electrical shock. Make sure to review the local amendments to the NEC. Local jurisdictions may have specific requirements for service entrances that supersede the NEC. Next, consider the weight and ease of installation. PVC is lighter and easier to install than galvanized rigid conduit, which can reduce labor costs. However, the added protection of rigid conduit may justify the additional labor. Think about long-term reliability in harsh environments. Galvanized rigid conduit is more resistant to corrosion and physical damage than PVC, making it a better choice for harsh environments such as coastal areas or areas with heavy snowfall. When choosing a solution, think about future expansion and upgrades. Galvanized rigid conduit provides more flexibility for future expansion and upgrades, as it can be easily tapped and extended. Consider the availability of qualified installers. Some installers may be more familiar with galvanized rigid conduit than PVC, which could affect the quality of the installation. Also, think about public perception. Some customers may perceive galvanized rigid conduit as a higher quality and more durable option than PVC. Look into the impact of extreme weather events. Galvanized rigid conduit is more resistant to damage from extreme weather events such as hurricanes and tornadoes, providing better protection for the service conductors. When making a decision, look at the history of failures with PVC versus galvanized rigid conduit in your area. This data can provide valuable insights into the long-term reliability of each material. Also, think about the potential for damage from rodents and other pests. Galvanized rigid conduit is more resistant to damage from rodents and other pests than PVC, which can be a significant consideration in some areas. Look into the cost of repairing or replacing damaged service entrances. The added protection of galvanized rigid conduit may reduce the likelihood of damage, resulting in lower repair and replacement costs over the long term. Consider the potential for liability in the event of an electrical accident. The added safety of galvanized rigid conduit may reduce the risk of electrical accidents and minimize potential liability. Make sure to review the warranty and guarantee offered by the manufacturers of each material. This can provide added assurance of the long-term reliability of the service entrance. Then think about the potential for energy savings. Galvanized rigid conduit can help to reduce energy losses by providing a more efficient path for electrical current. Also look into the impact on property values. A service entrance that is constructed with galvanized rigid conduit may be perceived as a high quality and more durable option, which could increase property values. In addition, consider the potential for noise reduction. Galvanized rigid conduit can help to reduce noise from electrical equipment, providing a quieter and more comfortable living environment. Also, think about the potential for electromagnetic interference. Galvanized rigid conduit can help to reduce electromagnetic interference, protecting sensitive electronic equipment from damage. Make sure to consult with a qualified electrical engineer to determine the best option for your specific application. An engineer can provide valuable insights into the technical considerations and help you make an informed decision. Also, think about the potential for future changes in the NEC and other codes and standards. It is possible that the requirements for service entrances could change in the future, which could affect the suitability of PVC and galvanized rigid conduit. Consider the potential for future technological advancements. It is possible that new materials and technologies could emerge in the future that offer even better protection for service conductors. Always use approved fittings and connectors for both galvanized rigid conduit and PVC. This will ensure a secure and reliable connection that meets safety standards. Properly ream and debo the cut ends of galvanized rigid conduit and PVC to prevent damage to the conductors. This will also help to ensure a smooth and easy installation. Use appropriate supports and hangers to secure the galvanized rigid conduit and PVC to the structure. This will prevent sagging and damage to the conduit. Properly ground the galvanized rigid conduit system to protect against electrical shock. This is essential for safety and should be done in accordance with the NEC and other applicable codes and standards. Also, consider the impact of the installation on the aesthetics of the property. Galvanized rigid conduit can be painted or otherwise coated to blend in with the surroundings. Keep detailed records of the installation, including the materials used, the methods employed, and any inspections that were performed. This information can be valuable for future maintenance and repairs. Conduct regular inspections of the service entrance to identify any potential problems. This can help to prevent costly repairs and ensure the safety of the electrical system. Promptly repair any damage to the service entrance to prevent further deterioration. This will help to extend the life of the service entrance and ensure its continued reliability. Use qualified electrical contractors for all installations, repairs, and maintenance of the service entrance. This will ensure that the work is done safely and correctly. Provide adequate training to homeowners and other occupants of the property on the safe use of the electrical system. This can help to prevent accidents and ensure the long-term safety of the property. Consider the use of surge protection devices to protect sensitive electronic equipment from damage. This can help to prevent costly repairs and downtime. Install smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors throughout the property to provide early warning of fires and carbon monoxide leaks. This can help to save lives and prevent property damage. Develop and implement an emergency plan for electrical outages. This can help to minimize the impact of outages and ensure the safety of the occupants of the property. Consider the use of renewable energy sources to reduce reliance on the electrical grid. This can help to save money and reduce the environmental impact of the property. Participate in energy conservation programs to reduce energy consumption. This can help to save money and reduce the environmental impact of the property. Stay informed about the latest developments in electrical safety and technology. This can help to ensure that the electrical system is up to date and safe. Support efforts to improve electrical safety standards and regulations. This can help to protect the public from electrical hazards. Remember that the safety and reliability of the electrical system are paramount. Always err on the side of caution and consult with qualified professionals when making decisions about electrical installations, repairs, and maintenance. Remember that different soil conditions can affect the corrosion rate of both galvanized rigid conduit and PVC. Conduct soil testing to determine the appropriate material for your specific location. Consider the use of cathodic protection for galvanized rigid conduit in corrosive soil conditions. This can help to extend the life of the conduit and prevent premature failure. When using PVC, be sure to select a product that is rated for direct burial. This will help to prevent damage from soil and moisture. Use proper backfill material around the conduit to protect it from damage. This will also help to ensure proper drainage and prevent the buildup of moisture. Avoid running conduit through areas that are subject to heavy traffic or other potential sources of damage. If this is unavoidable, provide additional protection for the conduit. Regularly inspect the conduit for signs of damage or deterioration. This can help to identify potential problems early and prevent costly repairs. Promptly repair any damage to the conduit to prevent further deterioration. This will help to extend the life of the conduit and ensure its continued reliability. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for installation and maintenance of both galvanized rigid conduit and PVC. This will help to ensure that the conduit is installed and maintained properly. Use qualified contractors for all installations, repairs, and maintenance of the conduit. This will ensure that the work is done safely and correctly. Provide adequate training to homeowners and other occupants of the property on the safe use of the electrical system. This can help to prevent accidents and ensure the long-term safety of the property. Consider the use of ground fault circuit interrupters to protect against electrical shock. This can help to save lives and prevent injuries. Install surge protection devices to protect sensitive electronic equipment from damage. This can help to prevent costly repairs and downtime. Install smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors throughout the property to provide early warning of fires and carbon monoxide leaks. This can help to save lives and prevent property damage. Develop and implement an emergency plan for electrical outages. This can help to minimize the impact of outages and ensure the safety of the occupants of the property. Stay informed about the latest developments in electrical safety and technology. This can help to ensure that the electrical system is up to date and safe. Support efforts to improve electrical safety standards and regulations. This can help to protect the public from electrical hazards.